The technological advancement of artificial intelligence is huge, surpassing expectation of many. Between driverless cars and artificial chatbot, AI promises to revolutionize our lives, leading us into a new future where thinking machines can do things that we have yet to imagine. Thanks to books and movies, each generation has developed their own interpretation of what AI is.
I think of robotics, like Terminator, for example. Something much smarter than us and something much faster than us.
Basically, a very genius human.
If you ever browse through Netflix selection and ask Alexa to order a pizza, you're already interacting with AI.
It's in the form of algorithms that are distributed across all the services we use every day. So every time you log on to Amazon, every time you open Facebook, every time you open your smartphone and ask Siri a question, that's an AI.
The term artificial intelligence was first coined in 1956 by Professor John McCarthy, which he would define as the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. However, the definition of intelligence is pretty subjective.
If we are defining an AI as replacing a human function, replacing a task that a human being would do, we've already reached the level of intelligence as a human being. If you're talking about consciousness, then how do you measure consciousness? How do you determine whether an algorithm is conscious? So Alan Turing had a test in that if it can fool another human being into thinking that it's human, then you have an AI.
How can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a woman's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second.
There are 3 types of AI: narrow AI, general or strong AI, and super intelligence AI. Narrow AI is good at doing specific tasks. For example, when asking a weather bot for the forecast, it will give the update by pulling the information from a specific data source.
Each AI and each machine learning algorithm is developed for a different task. But the tasks that it is set to in commercial and mainstream media, it certainly performs better than a human being could perform.
Experts suggested that general or strong AI could take another few more years to reach in par with human thinking capacity. But little do the experts know that it is not as distant as it seems with the advent of self-driving cars. To think of an example, let's talk about Google Translate.
Google obviously has its own AI, and it was written to translate between different languages and English, for example. And it itself wrote an interlingua, which is a language that translates between languages. And the programmers were like, ooh. But it had done this to make its own task more efficient. It was not intended at all, but it created an entirely new language. But with respect to the AI itself, it's just lines of code. From a programming perspective, I mean, I do a little bit of coding. That's what's interesting when you create an algorithm to do a particular task, and you think it will do it in one particular way, which is just translate between languages. But instead, it determines that the fastest way of doing it is to develop this language in between, which is what it did. And so that's like the little baby that you've built, that you've created, has gone off and done something entirely different to what you'd asked it to do. But, well, it has actually done what you've asked it to do, but in a way that you hadn't predicted.
However, there are a few prominent figures that express skepticism and even concerns on the future of AI, amongst them including Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and Stephen Hawking.
Artificial intelligence could be a real danger in the not-too-distant future. It could design improvements to itself and outsmart us all.
DeepMind's AI has administrator-level access to Google's servers to optimize energy usage at the data centers. However, this could be an unintentional Trojan horse. DeepMind has to have complete control of the data centers, so with a little software update, that AI could take complete control of the whole Google system. which means they can do anything. They can look at all your data, they can do anything.
I will destroy humans.
No, I take it back.
There's a lot that can and has gone wrong. Well, you can take Facebook as a recent example. So the 50 million profiles that were harvested there, and the analysis that was conducted on those profiles weren't conducted by human beings. They were conducted by machine learning algorithms in order to determine what the best content would be to show people to change their vote, right? And so that's already occurred. That's not a terribly good outcome. If there were a dystopian future that I were worried about, it would be one where we have no data privacy whatsoever. That these algorithms have complete access to all of our personal information, and that personal information is used for entirely for commercial purposes. So that seems to be a future that we're heading towards, and it's a future that I'm worried about. It's not going to die down. It's not going to go away. So I think we have to accept it's here to stay, mainly because there are so many tasks that we have to do as human beings in an information economy and the AI performs better. So we've outsourced a lot of what we used to do ourselves to AI. For specific tasks, AI is definitely smarter than human beings. For instance, processing large amounts of data and asking questions of large amounts of data and coming up with an answer in a split second. Human beings can't do it that fast. But there are things that AIs are currently not as good at, usually involving things like recognizing human beings and the emotions that human beings are having, and basically talking to a human being and helping that human being.
Even the most proficient experts cannot keep up with the pace of development of AI. There has been development in areas where they're trying to teach AI to understand human expression and emotions. This technology trains AI to not miss a single cue. Once they have mapped the entire face, they can shift through ample amount of data to understand the expressed emotion. One such AI is being developed by Affectiva, the emotion measurement technology company. They are using this AI to gather insight on what is going on with the people inside the car while they drive. This is being done to improve road safety and pave a way for autonomous transportation.
We're rapidly approaching a point where many of the jobs that are performed by humans now will be performed by algorithms in the future. Going into the future, we need to give very close scrutiny and ethical scrutiny to how we set the parameters of these different algorithms that we're writing. In other words, we need to be very careful about how we tell these algorithms to operate. They're written by a human being. Humans make mistakes, so do machines. I had this discussion with my 5-year-old in the car the other day. She was saying, "Why is Siri a person?" And I'm like, "No, she's not a person, she's an algorithm." And my 5-year-old said, "Well, she knows more than you do, so maybe she is."
Only time will tell what our future will be with the rise of artificial intelligence.